he was far more composed last night than he was at that media conference we saw earlier in the week. Do you think it's enough to move on from the issue?
No, I don't. He clearly doesn't comprehend women and the issues that are most important to them in their daily lives. And it's not only discrimination, it's what's happening in the workforce. He had an early warning system for this after 2007 when he first came into the Parliament. And of course we had Australia's first female Prime Minister, Julia Gillard. The treatment that she received, the disrespect with which she was received, by many in the political establishment was truly shocking. And things clearly have not improved since that time. We should learn the lessons of Brittany Higgins, of many other people, like what happened to Julia Gillard, and change the way in which we do business. And in terms of my political party, we're not perfect, but we moved to quotas way back in the early 90s, and we now have almost 50% of our parliamentary representation are women. So there is cultural change that can come. It takes a long time. It takes leadership. But this Prime Minister simply doesn't get it. And I hope these events lead to a dramatic change, not just within his party, but within the community.
But I got a real sense last night that he's trying, and don't we have to give him credit for that, to at least shift the conversation in the right direction?
Well, it's completely ineffectual. I mean, this is the problem. And we want to talk about some of the really key issues and what the government is doing, say, on wages, for example. We passed a bill in the Parliament last week which discriminates against lower paid workers who are predominantly women. So you can't say you're on side here and then go into the Parliament and do those sorts of things. There's been a report on his desk about discrimination in the workplace for a year, which he hasn't responded to.
Oh, well, but I thought, listening to him last night, Anna, that perhaps he's now got it and that we will see actual real change.
I wouldn't go so far as to say he's completely got it, but what I do agree with you on is the fact that he wants to get it. So the very fact that he's sat down and he's done this interview, even his press conference at the start of the week, which obviously had some significant hiccups, he clearly wants to address the situation. And I think observing it, that does give me hope.
Is it too late though, Wayne?
No, it's not too late, but I think we've had a pretty deep dive into the Prime Minister's character. It's been found to be lacking. Now, he's got a lot of ground to make up. You never say never in politics, but I think this has been a seismic moment in politics, and it will continue to reverberate for a period of time.
I mean, and there's so many issues that we're dealing with down in Canberra at the moment. I mean, we are also in the middle of a flood disaster. The pandemic is not over. And then we're all these sort of side scandals. So I'm not calling Brittany Higgins a side scandal here. I'm talking about the issue he's got with ministers and shuffling his cabinet. We're hearing now that Christian Porter and Linda Reynolds, it looks like they're not going to be moved out of cabinet. They're just going to be shifted sideways to a different portfolio. Wayne, do you think that's enough, that he's doing the right thing there?
Well, the vaccine rollout is not going well. I mean, JobKeeper is finishing this weekend. Up to 200,000 people may be unemployed as a consequence of that. There are very big issues on the government's plate at the moment, and they look like they're consumed with political management rather than the delivery of the key policy that matters to people on a daily basis. And let me assure you, discrimination in the workplace and discrimination in any form is a key issue. And it's certainly not a sideshow.
And something we're also talking about this morning that's been in the news is that it's going to be 26 years when it's now looking like before there is equal pay for men and women. But Anna, I just want to show you this because there was another moment that struck me from the interview last night. Just take a look.
I may not have always got it as well as people would like me to, but I assure you, I'm doing everything I can to understand it as best as I can.
He made the point there, you know, being a bloke was what he was talking about. Your thoughts on that comment?
I mean, I think it's easy to criticise. I think the truth is we do all come to situations from our own life experience, and I think that's the reality. You know, it's easy to find excuses, but I do think, like we were saying before, he is trying to make an effort. I mean, being a bloke is never going to be an acceptable excuse, I don't think, but the truth is we do all come from our own lifetimes.
Yep. All right. Well, pretty heavy stuff we're talking about this morning. Sorry, I know it's Friday, but Wayne and Anna, thanks for joining us this morning. Well,